Ya ta nga zo nungji ta ji peri ma zo yin ya dala ni gong ji kya yi ka ane li so yore nyong to zo ma ane shita ne ta nga zo chi nyong le kar che na yo ane tela tenye chi somba shi chi nyong le kar che na yo tela tenye chi somba shi gawa ji de kye chi mbore de yore ane ta tenye chi somba tela yo 아니 다세 되니 놀래고 말아 대인사 아니 다 페나 고이 자와이나 고자위 페 가르예 맞잖아 소설 니 내와 간데 아니 던디가 nengote 보이 시소나 아니 gon 되니 용그러
So just before we begin the short breathing meditations. So just to understand that there's one most important factor that for whatever activity, whatever things that we do, whether how well we do, and how much effort we put in that. Is depends on our interests. So we must have a interest and or like aspirations for doing the for the activities. So therefore and this interest. So if we don't have enough interest, then first we can interest or the aspirations. Then we can develop that by, and it is important because without enough interest, enough aspirations, then we cannot achieve much from whatever we do. So in order to develop these such interests and aspirations, so we should have recognize the benefits. On the one hand, the benefit and the advantages of the things, or why we are undertaking the activities, and another on the other hand, to trying to recognizing that if we don't undertake that activities, then what are the disadvantages or the shortcomings that will result from not doing that activity. So these are very important.
제장아 안에 제정가 받침비 가르수여서는 소대세나 우지 잡보대세네. 근데 가르순 거여서나 아니 다 고전에 고한테 야포 내제 야포지 레소나 맞어 센델 뭐셔봐 싱이데 가르르세나 실로 not 운자마 운기 군조다 근데 그 not 운자마 운기가 아니 샘무시 버서인 거로 제가 다 고전에니 드니그 야포지 고래 야포 고소나 센데 운도 더 거래서 페나니 이갈 자보에 자보티가 뭐세서 운도 더 거야 된 오지가 아니 드니그 고한제 디셔발라 때네 아니 센데 운도 더 거래서 노돌라서 비 운도 문로와체 아니 운도 더 거래서
So let's talk a little bit about the benefit of meditation practice, and so this the Lama Tsongkhapas, the great Tibetan master, he said that the mental stabilities. So it is like a king, which like overruling the mind. So this line gives some sort of indication that how if we or indication that the meditation practice has the benefit of of being able to like overpower overpower our mind like a king, who can have the overpowering all his the subjects, and so therefore why, of course, there's the question of why we need to overpower the mind is because the without our mind, because due to the lack of our control over the mind, then the mind then fall under the wander off after the various external, or get easily influenced by some various thoughts, distracting thoughts, and as a result of this, the thought, distracting thought arising in one's mind, then one can easily or emotionally easily get a losing tempers and so forth. Then as a result, then we experience problem or sufferings. So therefore, if we can overcome this, we can prevent all these kind of problems, sufferings, if we are able to prevent the mind, from being overpowered or by these such distracting thoughts.
Then zata shitane jitunga bisuyante ni gong nese tese ni torndo chai ne kasal sungo yorite inaya tanga chugo ni gom nyole che ni tela juda che tani chewa ina ni kase nyole go chewa kase juda go chewa de chama jigo ni sen ni notula suba shirot chowa de nyur no yorwa sen shirot notula suba shirot an chowa nyuwa kase nyur no de chama jigo ni su semba shibuda ani anta ngacho sendele ina tere ni chishimala no ani ta mgewa la supi ko mbo le mo so pat ni chewa yorwa.
So we engage in meditation practice, to subdue this our mind, this our unsubdued mind, and in order to see some effect of the meditations practice, then we have to do that. We have to do that meditation. We have to familiarize ourselves with the meditation practice, or in another word, have to do the meditation practice over and over again. And so, if we do that, then eventually we can see some there's a less influence of our mind towards external distractions. And these outgoing thoughts, the disturbing thoughts, and then with as this thought become less, then we will notice that there's more peace and more happiness and joy. That will arise within us. So therefore, the meditation practice is something has the potential to benefit us right in this whenever we practice, or in this in our current life, and then also if we talk about the future life, then of course also have a same effect of benefiting us in the future as well.
Ane shitane ganja jila ri mombo shi yore, gong mi pala ri mombo shi yore. Hina ya anta nga so yung la noto gu nyambo uyu nga gong sen ji tani shi yore. Hinsa ane noto shu chimbo yenge ta semba ma shi pat yenge tso la ane uyu nga gong na ti pen chi gre yese chi che. Ane ya le tongbo wata sola, ganja nge le tongbo wata sola, uyu nga la mine ganja na 네 디실레 라와요 레스네 어 드니sun고요 레스
and then there are so many different types of meditation practice, and then if we ask which one is the best to practice to apply, then there's one there's a saying that the breathing the breathing meditation practice is the best practice to, if we have to immediately overcome certain like uncontrolled thoughts or like disturbing thoughts and emotions. Then for that immediately challenge counteracting such or removing such disturbing thoughts and emotion, is that this breathing meditation is most effective. And also say the breathing meditation is also the very best meditation for those who are beginners, beginner to meditation practice, because it is compare with many other type of meditation, it is a very simple technique, and so it's easy to practice also.
다인자 당은 당서들이 대수수 포텍슈 중화지고 맞아 아니 레레 나오시제 아니 다더니 지내니 다 수수고 셈바자샤 자토마테니 윈중을 때네 아니 위 논지 쉬쳐 많이 봐 중앙 많이 봐 논지 위 가라 동게나 드니지고 위 돈에니 나유노네 야로서 마로서 드니가 손바지 지네 안다 윌미네다 드니시카마카시 녀도 주다치고스.
So bearing this, the benefit of this meditation, breathing meditation, in mind, so we should start this breathing meditation first, just to ensuring that we, whatever the sitting posture we have chosen is most convenient, and most importantly to make sure that your body is completely at rest. There's no releasing if there's any pain, stress and ache in any part of the body. So you should completely feel rest in the with your body, and then with the mind, then directing our attention to the mind, it's just to let go of all the outgoing thoughts. And so that the mind, abides. We find the mind then within ourselves, and then the trying to before the mind goes out, then we put the mind or direct the mind on our breath, which is the inhaling and the exhaling of breath. So we just keep the mind on the incoming and outgoing breath, and as to not losing, to have the mind completely on the breath, not losing any part of mind to any other objects. And so, if you like, then to help one to keep the mind there on the breath, then just in this meditation, so you're trying to mentally count your breathings or the cycle of the breathings, which is like the counting the inhaling and exhaling as a one round, and just keep mentally counting the breath as we in these breathing meditations.
Tujana. Tangatun Dingela, Ni Shandiku Konema, Rotegore. Tin Sata, Shatan, Shando singing the Karenda, which is your Sena. Ni Taronia, Ni Yaso Dungalan Jishi. Tele shopping, Nish, Ne Shanek, Takinjusale, Nip shopping, Nipae, Shipi, Gone, Takinjusala, Ichi. Or that Nijila, Ni Gan Shandos and Shigures.
So with the teaching, so at the moment, so we are talking about the about taking refuge in 3 jewels, and so the meaning of taking refuge means to really wholehearted trust in 3 jewel as the objects, which will these save one from falling into the lower rebirth, So that's the true refuge. So is this the wholehearted, the faith and the trust in that you cultivate, that we cultivate within us in this in the object of the refuge or the 3 jewels in terms of protection, in terms of protecting us from falling into lower rebirth, for instance.
That indeed Shandroji Suzuki Jella Shivala, and that what any Shandi Genite each magic goyores. Geniti menani, Kinjusala each big than each letter, Shandro letter, Maris. Carisana Runi Niason Dungala Supala, Jito Mena, and a Kinjusala shot, Silkoromaras, Teleshop, shot, Sigmaras. And a Casey shot Senayang, Kinjusala teleshop, Nipae Hamakona, Nipae Susig Machina. Tell ne teleshogers and each marvas. Tenza ne Runya Huang is open doing and Jishi Tropata. Ne teleshopping Nipatela Makinjusala, Yepate, Yepa Shipatini, Genire, Teni each mitch sochi. Temena ne Shandro Jelasito Mares.
So to to take the refuge, then the means to as we said before, as to have the faith, wholehearted faith and trust in the refuge objects, based on the ones the recognitions or the understanding of that the refuge objects of having these all the qualities or the capacities to provide that protection, provide that guidance that one is seeking. So therefore it's we must. There must, before we take refuge, there must be reasons. There must be some causes for taking refuge. So if you think of what are the causes for taking refuge? So first of all, there must be cause for why we need to take refuge, because we have some sort of sense of a need, because like such as we have a need for taking refuge because we have a sense of we feel unsafe. We feel the fear, such as like fear of falling into lower rebirth, for instance. So therefore we can understand here therefore that how without that the cultivation of that cause for taking refuge, like such cause such as this, such a sense of feeling fear or feeling unsafe, feeling the need of refuge objects, then you would not let alone taking refuge, but you even would not bother to find the refuge objects, right? And then we also need these as I said before, the trusting faith in the refuge objects, because without that, then even if we find, we look for the refuge object, and then but we will not take refuge, because we have no faith in the refuge objects. So therefore, it is also important to understand, in order to cultivate this trusting or this believing faith in the refuge objects, therefore it's important to understand all the qualities of the refuge objects, to recognize that you see all the qualities that you look in the refuge objects, and which which can gain one's like a trust, one's faith that in giving that refuge object to give a protection for oneself.
Penanga choti neba gutubu na uchi yaina ko nayada ani shiala tani shegme waina ani membada ani me sayada ani korol ne uchi tani cheg korom marwas shegmena ani yaji shinaya ani membado meda ani tsola korochobi nibaye ba hamakona kuzotel ichi cheg marasaki 제장아 아니 코로 네 시가와도 나가야와도 시노지 그거래 아니 코로 텔레 나차텔레 쇼피 니파테 멤버도 매도 네올라 수파루바예나 아니 쇼테야가 네 니파에 파테 우키 하고 그거 드니 니수지 주스나 kilonzo 멤버들 때 매사 네우도 세테 지그러와 이치 지그러와 스텔 테노지레 되어레스
So this is same, taking refuge in three jewel is also same as some like a like a person's with a sickness, illness, or like a patients, who initially who would before the person's look for the doctor, or to look, to decide to go to the look for the doctor. So person have to understand and to realize that he is suffering from some sickness, and if that sickness is not cured, then how there is a threat to that to one's life. So there's danger to one's life. So how if somebody might have some such a the suffering from certain sickness, a life-threatening sickness, but how if the person doesn't recognize that, then won't even bother to look for the treatment or look for the doctors. But however, after recognizing that, then it is after recognizing that disease, the seriousness of disease, and then the fear of the dying, of the death, and then the person going to look for the doctors, and also to in terms of the actually to decide which doctor to rely on. So that depends on whoever you see, all the qualification, all that experience, and the qualification of the doctors. So therefore, once you see all the qualification, then you have some faith. This that in the doctors, likewise all the you have to see in the medicines. In order to before you take the medicines, you have to see the qualities, and likewise, you depending on in order to trust somebody, to like a nurse or someone to support one. First, you need to have some sort of the understanding of that, the qualifications. So when you see all this, recognize all this qualification that necessary for one to cure with regard to doctors, medicines, and the nurse, and then you would have a full faith, and then that's how you would seek their help. So this is also the same. We can also understand this in meaning of taking refuge in the three jewels in same fashions also.
다 딘디기 샹로 때라야니 다 리만다와 세그리 시아고 중이다 언제도 제보스네 니 샹로 리만다와 써요레스 가르스는 다 로냐 니 녀소고도 코에 말에다 녀소고도 말한지시 당기 테노지리 텔레쇼비스 다 샤라마게 주슬라야 바시바데 시아고 중이제 다 로냐 녀소도 코아니까 아니 시로 사고서는 되게 지도 대웅기고 아니 라마게 주슬라야 비치시여로 봐 다때는 어때 시운 리치 다 로니도니 센제니 다 녀손도 니 고알시로서 지도 대웅기고 아니 라마게 주살라샤스로 외샤로 생기데 니 시우 침비그 샤로 와세네 니 리만다와 소시죠이레스.
So and with regard to the manner or the ways of taking a refuge in three jewels, so we in the scriptures, so we find three different types of persons. A person of small mental capacities, and then the person of the middling mental capacity, and then the one of a great mental capacities. So the difference among these three persons is that the person of small scope, take refuge in three jewels. In order to free themselves, from the sufferings of the lower rebirth, or from falling into the lower rebirth, and thus the person who's the manner of taking refuge by the person of small mental capacities. And then the middling scope, then they take refuge, not just for the fear of falling into lower rebirth or subject to the suffering of lower rebirth, but also the suffering of the whole worldly existence or cyclic existence or samsaras. And so therefore, they wanted to, they have the wish or the aspiration to achieve the liberations from these samsaras, and for they do not they fear for all the suffering natures of the entire worldly existence. So that's the way of taking refuge by the person of middling scope, middling mental capacities, and by the person of great mental capacities, then whose reason for taking refuge is not just only for themselves, for their own self, but for concern for the sufferings of all other sentient beings. So who have a great compassions for all, share great compassion for all other sentient beings. So therefore, they take refuge in the three jewels, in order to free all other sentient being from the sufferings, and so that is the person of great mental capacity or the great scope.
Tatani ngazo nonji ane kane shandro dungu yore ane ta liga ne shopine ne ta shas chasene tani techigo yorwa tenju sala ne kisho chego yore tenza ta tani kasala sono kar tung kore sene sayat yina nen tandini ki lorga ngazo nro de ga lor ni lo matinu ne ma chi su yode ane techi shejo is.
And so, as part of the taking a refuge in 3 jewels, our practice of taking refuge in 3 jewels, we say that like which we did in this start of these sessions, that like the prayers of taking refuge. So that's the verbally, we. By saying these refuge prayers, so we taking refuge in 3 jewels, and then also like physically or bodily, we can, as part of taking refuge, so we can show our homage by performing like the prostrations. So now, just to go more on this, how we can this refuge practice is integrated in our practice. So we will go over this LamRim, this particular LamRim text.
당아조 저도 가서 요에 주주 갈 시에서래 소소 어찌 라마데 저 관제 시에서래 때때는 이제 되어래 변함이 에 소식을 뭐 소식을 라마임발라 아니 넘바 아니 템바 전된데 임바지 때때 소식이 시위 줄라 아니 예바지 가 아니 디 타콜더니 그라드슈 고토스나 수제슈세 또또 닌다네 이 칸로도 라소비고 거네 요에 고타나 예보여레스 고마타나요 아니 수수게 짜위라면 뭐 짜위라면 해봐라 아니 넘바 네 템바 전된데 임바 수수 시위 줄라 가 아니 대관에 디그 그수투기 예때는 지제 디 제메 문에 가르친 거거스나 아니 소소 이난다 세제 이난다 아니 녀손 단다 류소나 아니 가르쳐서 손에 반지조시 지조지 아니 드리고 손을 동거 그랬어.
So in this LamRim text, these stages of the path, text the LamRim called the quick path. So where these clear instructions for the practice of taking refuge. So where it says that we can first we should visualize the object of refuge, like the visualize upon the crown of one's head, like one's own the guru or the spiritual guide, but in the aspect of like a Shakyamuni Buddhas, and then if possible, then you can think of surrounding that Buddhas are then all the infinite numbers of other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all the other and so forth. The Dakinis, Dhamma protected, and so on. But if otherwise, you can simply visualize these one's guru in the aspect of and then inseparable from in the aspect of the Shakyamuni Buddhas, and then think of that as the representations of all the objects of the refuge, and then you also then spend time on then in the reflecting on the qualities, qualities of the one's gurus, and through this to let this faith, let the faith in guru to arise, and then the next thing is to want to reflect on one's own current situations.
Seche Dorje, Koada, Chawata Yon, Tatani, Tandigani, Nyaso Jipatele, Shata so, Yampiga so, Zichita, Tapicone, and Tanangato Shando Sune. Ne, that shopping and a shoppy, the niggas were Zichipingone, the Chico is a res. Shando Trumbola Sopata, Cadisoriana, ne, the distress of Soko is a res.
So next thing you reflect on the really on the fate or the of oneself and also of all the other sentient beings, and so that's also of course the sufferings, how all other sentient beings are subject to the nature, suffering natures. So you think on these, and then also along with that, then you need to also, of course, need to cultivate the compassion, sense of empathies for all these sentient, the sufferings, sentient beings, and so in this way, through this, so you have to, you cultivate your a wish or your motivation to intention to liberate all these suffering sentient beings, and then see how in order to be able to liberate these all sentient beings, then you need to seek a refuge. We need to depends on the refuge objects, and so therefore you think on the who is qualified, who has all the qualifications to liberate all these suffering sentient beings, then to trying to recognizing this guru, Shakyamuni Buddhas, which you recognize, so has is qualified, is endowed with all these qualifications. So in this way you generate faith in that also.
Tani chewa ina ta keso kayaro sena ngatsu jela tani shanro shesuna ne ta tani kuzo te ne nupa su jibe chala tsandro yore ane domba toche ga tenda jindro sere kari segir sena ta ngatsu ti shitang awo mano ina chimbe domba ina mugechi buki tsandra ane nya tani yorawa tani ga ane ka lena ne shege yores ane kenchu sala ta tani ga shanro jijela mena ne anta domba kar lena yo ane shege maris tawa ina ya ta geslo ko domba yer shege yo mare ane ta awo ina yo ta ngatsa awi chimbe ga domba la supa shege yo mare je chang shas rosuna ane tani ane domba ti shanro ti te chi gre se tani shege yores.
So that's how in this, as we discussed earlier, that when you in these meditations, so you reflecting on the sufferings of all the other sentient beings, and through this you arise you recognize these the sufferings situation and then the wanting cultivate a thought to of liberating all these sentient beings, and then to and as well as focusing on the qualities of the Guru Buddhas, and then you cultivate the develop the faith, believing faith in that, and so this is how you you cultivate, or you go for refuge in the three jewels, and so therefore now by going refuge in the three jewels. So now if we talk about what are the benefits of that going into refuge, so it is said the first benefit is that by going refuge in three jewels, then one become what we call a true Buddhist, and then secondly, by going refuge in the three jewel, then one become a suitable suitable to receive any like a vow, a vow, like if you are a lay persons, there are lay persons of vow which we can ceremonially we can take, but however the taking refuge is a prerequisite for that. Without that you cannot receive, not suitable to receive this vow, or even in order to take like a celibate, vow of a novice monks or nuns, so they must have the basis of this taking refuge as a prerequisite. So therefore it is said that the taking refuge really like serve as the basis for receiving all other vows.
아니야 배 가려서나 아니 소소시와 니마가 소저서 아니 레디 저던 로에나 좋다와다 아니 다 센데가 놀아요 아니 소소 소저서든지 레 아니 다 가르쳐 그래 맞었디 레 가제트니 리옹 매와서 왔다 아니 델레오 제스크로 너무데 지구 저거 매와 너무 지림보트니 용고에나요 아니 제트윈트죠 아 드니가다 아 저의 그 펜도 요레스 레던 더바도 가시 더로 그래 가시 싸바 지그 요레 드니가도 요레스
And then this taking refuge is also very is also a powerful purifying practice to purifying any like negativities such as the bad karmas that we have accumulated in the past life or in this current life. So through taking refuge, such negativities will be purified, and purified in the sense that either the negativities or such accrued bad karmas would no longer be able to produce this result, like a severe is result, or we can also through this practice we can also minimize the result of our negative karma in terms of the length of the period that we have to suffer, such as through purifying negativity also means like instead of having to suffer for a long period of time, we shorten through the purification practice, so we shorten it, or could also mean with the purification, so we can also means instead of the having to suffer something very severe form of painful sufferings, but then we have a very minimum or a very a least amount of sufferings of the negativities lost.
Delangato shita tonuna tizok sarsong this. Karisanangato Mikajigata, number so GPU ni ledo ni lenje kenlangi yoinza. Ni Tashawangami le consona teri sene. Angasol sendel moyungre, Jayomare sene. The Halomasine pi Jite capable kenlangi shizondogojero, Jite capable Karichana with Teresa. Oh, these on the owner, Choto Chedi, this Kajirwa, Ani Larry Sene. Oh, teachers and Ani Matsoshitane, less sociality, in a lete, Suzuki Sendela, Ani Yapuchine, Chena, Ni Toyat and Yores, Rova, Koro Karchire, Maris.
So, what we just mentioned earlier, so the clarified, some kind of truth about the law of cause and effect, or the law of karma. So that is that how even if we have created karma in the past, but it can be that past karma can be purified, through our some practice that we do, at the moment. So because sometimes we people have a misunderstanding of this the way the working of the karma, that they think almost they see the karma almost the idea of the karma almost as same as the idea of the everything as a creation of the God, so it's all like as if like everything is already been predetermined, so you cannot can be changed. So people saying, oh, this people talk about. Some people say, oh, this I can't do anything because this is my bad karmas, and so there is a notion. So sometimes when we think that the certain when various things happens in our life, and then we sometimes we think that this is all happened because it's already been fixed, already been predetermined in the past, and so that's this kind of understanding of karma is almost similar to the the idea of the all everything as a creation of all creating God loss.
Chidonga solo ta dunga da woshinoani lende sono tuna sembal pembo yoresrowa. Sembal pembo yorete inaya ni tela ni jijitoe mewat ni chiri homares remers ni macho yune munda ni ta sendel seno so ni yapo chewaina yapo chewaina ni so te so yores jijitoe yoresrowa. Ante inza ni 시도다 렌데 선타나들 펜토 요르스로 데스 손음 시는 수수 등가나 보시나 레리 수선로 보시나 수 셈발 펜토 요르데 이나야 맞을 레싱이 되라 아니 지치 도지에 와다 아니 뉴르 도지에 와도 메와 조지에 와데 아코트는 야본데 왔어
Of course there is a benefit of the reminding to ourselves that whatever everything that happens, all the things that happens in our life, so it's all related to our karma, our past karma, and so there is in a way that we are blaming to the karma, past karma. So by that kind of way of thinking has its own benefit, has its own merit, in some ways. But at the same time, we should also, it's also important to understand that as I said before, when we think of karma, then karma is not something which cannot be changed, cannot be altered, So rather we have to think that the karma can be changed, can be if the increase or can be decrease, and so therefore we can if we have by engaging in certain practice, that we can minimize the amount of negative karmas that we have accumulated within us, and as well as through our practice, we can increase the positive karmas within us also.
당아조 네 원하는 샤스 손사디잖아. 아니 더 가르치거든. 페나 때 그다기 셰그 네바테 드니그 멤버들라 아니 이 치사나오. 멤버가 셰와테 마녀나 아니 코네 토다고 말와. 데너지가 ngazo 템발라 아니 이 치사나오. 아니 템베가 라잔로 마녀나 템베가 ત니 코로가 저거 지 보도를 집아처럼 떼었으니 떼기지는 요 말했어. 기글 라자니네. 아니 대녀스래네. 아니 가서 야야 로야리 마도 지 그러고 실라마 지 노조에 그서는 가서 지 라베그르 와도 lon서 지 가서 아니 지 가서 등악한가 맨동에 그서나고 어떤지래 돼요 말했어. 와 기글 라자된 가서 그 저거 그래서
so with regards to this, the meaning of taking refuge, it doesn't mean that if we take refuge in three jewels, then it doesn't mean that automatically these three jewels will solve all our problems, and they will grant you, bestow us whatever we want automatically. So this we have to in practical terms. So of this practice of taking refuge. So we have to understand the analogy of how the patient to get cure of the illness. So how the patient must, of course, must seek the doctors, advice doctors, and then after that, then the patient must follow all the advice and take the medicine which is prescribed by the doctors. Must follow up all this, the prescriptions, taking prescription and all the other advices. So, and otherwise, there's no way the patient will get cure from the illness. So therefore, in a same way, in a similar way, when we talk about taking refuge in the Buddha, so it doesn't. We have to understand that the Buddha, we take refuge in order because we wanted to be free ourselves from such, this suffering and the causes of sufferings, but we wanted a happiness. So, but the Buddha has no, capacity, no ability to like, as if our pain is something like an object, which Buddha can just take it, from us, cannot do that. Nor the Buddha's his own, realizations, his own bliss and happiness that Buddha has. No, he can't just like an object. He can give it to us. He can transfer that into us. So therefore, in practical terms, so taking refuge, and then through taking refuge, then how we actually receive the refuge or receive the protection, is in actual terms means to applying all the instructions that Buddha has given to us into practice. We have to apply that in practice, and it is through our practice that we can receive the true refuge, true protections.
Tene tenza ne tembelaja karno grsena ane te kono yamanga sonda wuchine deni kowan chonde ngi kuzoje ni rambaje ta ne yajinro ne ane suje sambaji res tenza kono kane suje ge na kandes longo ten roge na tig nyonyo te ngasol machi yungo res.
So we have to remember that what sort of what instruction we receive, instruction or the guidance we receive from the Buddhas. And so that is the instruction we receive from the Buddha is just reflect what the Buddha, something Buddha himself found it very effective, something beneficial. So, whatever the path that the Buddha is showing to us. So that's, we have to understand that's the same path that the Buddha himself had followed, and so this is what we have to recognize. We have to understand the teachings or the instructions that we receive from the Buddhas. So we're going to leave the teaching here tonight. So we usually have a bit of question and answer time. I think I have one question from Jenny other day. So it's not maybe not directly related to the tonight's teaching, but the directive. I just have to translate to Geshe. Because the Jamdu Kojua, the Namdu Lamjano, that the Yude Mengandu, the Nashinyamji, Yambute, and Masungu Sati Wadazla. The Kadula, the dog, Tiwani Kushara, the Mashit, the Teen Gomdanjora, Teen Gomdan, the Kebawe Teen Gondam says Lashas, the Karache, Tiwaniba did that, the Dongling Gomajua, the Dukamatama, Dongangum Zambata, Tia Champagongora, Chambe Miboten says, Chambala Nisha, the need her resusa. So caution that I have received here is something related to the practice or the meditations to cultivate what we call the bodhicitta mind, right? The mind of enlightenment, altruistic mind of enlightenment. So this question comes from the text called the Liberation in the Palm of Hand. So where the method or the technique for generating this altruistic mind of enlightenment, there are two there, the sevenfold cause and effect, and then the method of exchanging self with others, and then however the text also explained how we can combine these both methods together in order to make it even more profound method of cultivating bodhicitta. So the question is, I think there's a question there's a mention in the text mentioned about in terms of in this method. So we have to remembering recognizing all other sentient beings as are as close as like one's own mother to oneself, and then to reflecting on their kindness. So in that text, there's mention about the recollecting, the special ways of recollecting their kindness. So the question was, what was that special ways? And then there's also talk about the meditation on giving and taking, and in relating to giving, so that you have to cultivate enhance the force of this impartial love towards, or the love towards all other beings. So then there's in the text there's talk about two types of love. So is that right? So what is that? What are those two types? On the Tibetan.
Tate ani trante chewa wa singiti terota ngazo shito seshe tsla ni jinde mengo digine seshe shito doje nyoje gune seshe ni yores ani jinde mengo dine gune mate te tang susuga amega te tere tate sheka yomarwa ta chewa wa de karesena susiga dewa tonje ani senje la tene yongo gundes ro senji la tene yongo gundes 소소 그 등가 도체 후수수수 젠즈 디원게 그래는마도 세제가 되려면데 젠자 네 소소 그 대화 통제 다 소소 그 특제 가리나 senjela tene yungu kunde tenza senjete karichi mboren go so karichi mo imba kwansate soso go mai imba tane kwansajido ani soso go nolu sheto soso go yechi dewar jepa masana yungu to ni kwansa de ani kwanchawa deres. So your first question relating to that special here when in the text there's a special way of remembering the kindness of all other motherly sentient beings. So here this is talking about how you think of reflect on the kindness of other being, not just in terms of giving you the birth or serving you as a mother, but in fact in thinking of in a thing that how in fact all your happiness, all your joy, all your the goodness, how these are all come from other sentient beings. So this is where the special, remembering the special kindness. That's the how all your happiness, the joy, how all this the goodness of your life, how all this comes from other sentient beings. You are reflecting on that, and that is a special way of thinking their kindness. No, the deva, mother zeval, chambala ning se. Chambala ni deta seche tongje ni dewa dende chomba chiche. Ani yungu shomba ni che, right? Seche toje yungu shomba ni che. Teres ni dewa dende jo ni shomba te do ni che moni ta ngashi shira chewa yo mares. Ani yungu shomba te ni da jene mengo ding mone ramaji tan rowa ina ni che mi ding hon ro ko res.
Whereas when we think of the so in that special technique, so we really focusing on the benefits of cherishing other sentient being on the one hand, and then the other hand the shortcoming of the self-cherishing mind. So we're seeing how all the happiness that we have, how these are really come from all other sentient beings, and whereas all the problems, suffering that we find in our life, how these are all derived from this self-centered or the self-cherishing mind which we hold within ourselves. And so now your next questions, you talk about this, what are the two types of the love. So this is also cultivating this, the loving kindness, which is also the one of the causes to generate this bodhicitta or this altruistic mind of enlightenment. So the love, by definition, so is the there are is like a wish to wish to for other to have happiness, it's a mental attitude of wishing other to have happiness, and that's one form of love. And then other form of love is the not so much like wishing other to not an attitude or your wish to have other to have happiness, but rather this your kind of the intimate feeling, the close and intimate, and the sense of endearment you feel towards lovingness you feel towards others. It's like attractions towards other sentient beings. So that's also the like a form of love, attraction to others, in the sense of endearments towards others. So in this practice of generating bodhicitta, so where we have to generate compassions. So it is said that in order to generate compassions, so prior to generating compassion, we have to generate that first type of love. Let's call that is a love as a sense of endearment. That is like a prerequisite. So it must be generated in order to before one can really generate the impartial compassion, genuine compassion to all. One must generate that love of attractions towards others. Attraction in the sense, not like in the sense of like a intimacy and some sort of with a feeling like a dear loving feelings, dear endearment, sense of endearments. And so that must be prerequisite. However, the text said that when we talk about the love as a wish for other to have happiness, then there is no the order sequence in terms of whether to we cultivate that love or the compassion first. So they are not a cause and effect. That it is not prerequisite in order to generate compassion that you generate that second type of love of wishing other to have happiness as a prerequisite. Yeah. Sorry.
Any questions?
Yeah. Actually, that's why, You have any other questions? Yes, asked.
Yeah, thank you, questions. For questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Dedication, page 11.